All right. Just recently, my mother was telling me about how she heard that ISIS is claiming that they're gonna wear ninja suits and they're gonna machete attack people. And it's like, man, it's like, well, here I'm always making these anti-ISIS videos, and it's like they're they're false flagging me because I happen to have a machete. I happen to have uh uh I have animal skins. I have sackcloth. You know what I'm saying? And uh my nickname it was Ninja. You know what I'm saying? But everyone knows I am no Muslim. I mean, here's my thing. All right, listen, I've met a lot of Middle Eastern people. They never got really overly religious on me. And that's the thing. That's the thing that's so scary about it is that you meet these guys and they're just like everyone else. They drink, they like women, like a lot of women, like very regular fornication type lifestyle, playerism. They like that stuff too. They like to drink. They crack jokes that are nasty. You know what I'm saying? They like to have their ego stroked and pumped up, just like everyone else. So I mean, there's got to be some kind of deception going on here. Whether it's like you ever see how like when people go to church, they put on their best clothes, but really in their hearts they're no different. They're just wearing an outfit. I see a deception such as this with this whole the Muslim attacker situation. My thing about Muslims is like if that's what you want to believe, that's what you believe. I understand you grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? That's all you know. Like you don't have freedom to say no. I don't want to follow this. You get your head chopped off. I understand that. It's like being born into a gang. If you're born into the Bloods and you wear a blue uniform in your neighborhood, you're gonna get beat to death. And likewise, if you're a Crip and you wear just decide to wear your red hat today and you get beat to death on the way to the store to get a soda. Uh, it's cowboys and Indians, cops and robbers. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, same shizzle. And my whole thing about this is like this. I look. I don't. I totally no affiliation with anything Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Because I also don't want no affiliation with anything that is connected to popes. And that's my whole beef with the whole Muslim thing is that the fact that Muhammad's wife's connection to the popes. That's what you call that sends up a great red flag. It's like, oh shit, these people are in cahoots. It's a fucking conspiracy. There's something called the Frankist Sabbateans. And the founder of this thing, and in front of Jewish people, he'd say, I'm a Jew. In front of Christians, he'd say, I'm a Christian. And in front of Muslims, he'd say, I'm a Muslim. But really, he was a fucking Satanist. So I see that this can happen out here, and people can just be unaware that this is the way that people in high cultish and like a lot of time cult religions and political things, they run right parallel with each other. They're actually connected. They're intertwined. And this is one of these things that I see here as well. And it's just like in Japan, there was two ninja colonies. There was the Iga and the Koga. So these guys, just because they were both ninjas and they practiced similar tactics and strategies and training, they were like rivals, enemies, just like ISIS. Just because every person that uh especially when it comes to ninjas, because ninjas, their reputation, it's like Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. I mean, that's a great example there. That it's like in the ninjas are very mercenary. Like it's like they can change sides at any time. They don't have much affiliation. They're known liars because I mean, and thieves and criminals and saboteurs. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I engage in any of these things, but it's just in the playbook. You know what I'm saying? Of the things, and it's like to learn these things isn't always so you can do them. It's so that when someone is trying to do it to you, you can make a quicker defense because you can think like the guys that are trying to get you. It's kind of like FBI profilers. Like you see that movie Red Dragon where the guy had to get inside of Hannibal's mind. He had to get inside of the Red Dragon's mind, and think like him in order to be able to stop him before, you know, he destroyed them. So I mean, it's along the lines of that. Even in the Bible, there's a point where he's like, sell your garments, buy a sword. And even his disciples, they were like, we got 2 swords. He's like, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? It's not an unbiblical thing to wield the sword, but it's to live by the sword is different. And that's what the Muslims teach. It's like either you convert by the edge of the sword. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere in the Bible does it say to do that, to convert by force or to kill if they don't convert. It's like, so these are radically different outlooks, but yet it's still proactive. You know what I'm saying? So they might look similar. Like you even see Jesus walking around the pictures, you know, the shows they make. He looks like a Muslim almost. He's draped in a in a robe. You know what I'm saying? That was a common way to dress when you live in those desert climates. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get so caught up on appearances. And it's really a dirty tactic. Like I'm almost to the point where I like need to rethink my whole kung fu outfit strategy, because it's like it's almost indistinguishable from these fucking bastards that are keep making these green screen beheading videos and got everyone all fucking paranoid. You know, I'm gonna have to cut off my damn beard or do something with it so people can distinguish me from them. You know what I'm saying? Because I happen to have been born with this darker skin tone that, you know, ignorant people who just, you know, it's like I see people also getting caught in this. If you're not black, you're white. And then the white people will be like, well, if you're not white, well, then you're black. And there's all these middle colors of people, you know, or, you know, ethnic groups. And people just, they don't recognize it. They've been, you know what I'm saying? It's their blanket statement in a way. It's like it's not being inclusive to the people that are really there. It's excluding, you know, Chinese people, all the variations of brown. You got Middle Eastern who are brown. You got Indian Native Americans who are brownish. You got Asian people who are kind of whitish, but they got like a hint of color there, that, and some people call that yellow. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not saying that to be racist. You look at people from India, they're pretty dark. Some of them actually look kind of almost black. You got Aborigines who just don't make no sense. It's like, how did they get there? And they got this crazy, strange look. But I was looking at one in this movie, this Australian movie the other day, and I was like, dude, it looks like he's got the Geronimo gene. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looked like to me. But I mean, I could have been wrong there. Could have been reaching. But I'm just saying, there's these whole middle groups. But somehow in this world paradigm, it's like they try to trick you into forgetting that it exists. And I see a lot of like people making this mistake. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's like, I don't like the Catholics neither, because it's the same thing as the Muslims. The New World Order, the Caliphate, it's the same thing. There's no differentiation there. It's this. They want this. You want the same thing. Your goals are the same. The way you're saying it and the reasons that you're supposedly doing it may differ. I mean, on the surface, but when you research deep into it, you can find there's connections. So it's probably coming from the same source. And this is my thing. I'm not just blindly saying this. I'm not just saying I dislike it because I'm, because I'm trying to keep that which was committed to me. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know these things if it wasn't. Then it's been committed to me to keep. That's another thing about keeping record of the things about your history, of your family, your ethnic group. You're supposed to keep it with the best of your ability and be honest and truthful about it. So, I mean, it's called a higher ethical standard. There's a way you could portray it that you always look like the good guys, but that wouldn't be honest. You know what I'm saying? When I explain my tribal history, I'll explain the bad and the good and the ugly and the, the glorious, whatever, dude. It's all got to be acknowledged. In order for it to be, good work. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, that's the thing, could you, I mean, I couldn't just sit there and just knowingly lie. I mean, could I be deceived and just repeat my opinion? I think everyone's done that and does that from time to time, because I mean, this is a process. You don't We're learning that as things are brought to our attention. There's things that we know, but did we know them as well as we thought? There's always a time that comes to show you that there's always more that you can know about something, but there's some things, that you only need to know certain points, and that'll keep you it'll keep you headed in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? It's just you got to catch those milestones as you go and take a little reading. You know what I'm saying? And keep your bearings. Going towards a true, accurate. You know, I don't know, but yeah, this whole ISIS ninja situation is really it's really it's babe shit crazy. But I mean, I see them. It's like it's just such a broader term now and description of what a terrorist is. I mean, even seeing how the government actually they look, Muslims like basically got diplomatic immunity, but all of us over here, us Americans that depend on our rights to keep them from basically rounding us up into a FEMA camp, we all got a target on our back now, and it's total double speech, man. It's total Orwellian double speech. And once again, you got to look at that Huxley Berkeley seminar from 1963 where he defines what terrorism truly is. Though, the ISIS, I've heard it's, what is that, in Israel Secret Intelligence Services. I'm not sure if that's accurate or if someone just didn't say that. But no, it's just Al Qaeda was the CIA database for operatives they could use to overthrow the Afghani government, basically. So, it's like whoever they're pointing the finger at, go do research on them and see if they're not in fact ex-partners in crime, and just one side decides to hang the whole rap around the other guy's neck because he's either dead already or he's got they decided to turn on him, kind of like when they it's like in The Godfather, when the new Godfather comes in, the new crew, they go kill off the old regime and then they implant their guys. It's the same thing. These things happen in politics as well. That's where it really comes from. It comes from the popes. The popes would kill each other, poison each other to get that role, that king, that religious king, that role, that title, that prestige, that power, and that influence. You know what I'm saying? In their own glory and renown. That's really why they did it, man. It's they'll try to rationalize it and paint it out. All unicorn farts and rainbows and sunny, sunny days with cool breezes, but it's total fictions.